Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another video. So this video, I want to answer some of your questions because I get a ton of questions every single day. And a while back, I had kind of put out there on YouTube and on Instagram. And if you're not following me, please go check me out. I'll link it right over here. But I asked you guys, do you guys have questions for me? And definitely they're usually all across the board between confidence and dating, self-love, boundaries. A lot of them have to do with toxic people and narcissism. So in this video, I'm going to answer your questions on narcissism. And also I wanted to do a video on, I know a while back on YouTube, there was an hashtag assumptions that was going around for all the YouTubers out there. And it was our way of kind of answering some of your assumptions that you might have about us, because obviously if you're only following us on YouTube, then you're only seeing a snippet of who we are, but maybe you have assumptions or questions about things that we've gone through or who we are in general. And when I asked you guys, what are your assumptions about me? It's so funny, but I'll tell you later on in the video some of the stuff that came back. But let's get right into some of your questions. So I'm going to dive right into this. So one of the first questions, and these came from everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Why is it so difficult for someone to realize they are with a narcissist? Is it a result of their codependency, or does the narc hook them in so well? Honestly, it's a mixture of a lot of things. First of all, the reason why it's difficult to realize that someone is a narcissist because you're probably projecting who you want them to be, and they're not that person. So if you've ever, or it could possibly be cognitive dissonance, and I made a video on that, so definitely go check that out so you know what cognitive dissonance actually is. But when you're struggling to realize who someone is, it's because you don't want to believe what they're showing you. So if you don't want to believe it, that's because you have a fantasy, you have an expectation, you have a projection that you're putting on that person. Could it be the result of codependency? Absolutely. But really it has to do with the wounds that you have inside yourself, the things that's going on inside of you that's causing you to project onto people. That's the stuff that you really need to tame and get control of. It's not really trying to fix other people, wanting them to be different. You have to take everyone in your life at face value, because you can't project what you want onto someone when they're blatantly showing you that they're not that person. So the next question is, how common are narcissistic friends? Does it take longer to notice narcissism in friends versus a romantic partner? I personally don't think so, because if you're meeting a new friend, it's just like meeting a new partner. So the only difference between your friends and your partner is you're intimate with your partner, but really the friendship should be there, that foundation should be there. So when you are meeting a new friend or having a new partner, you're really doing the same processes in terms of getting to know someone. Do they respect your boundaries? What are their values? What are their character? So a lot of this, how common are narcissistic friends? I mean, they're just as common as finding a narcissistic partner. So some people don't have full NPD. Maybe they just have narcissistic tendencies. So maybe you have a friend who's a conversational narcissist, where every time you have a conversation, you'll talk about something that you're going through, and it just it loops right back to her all the time. She just wants to constantly talk about herself. You could have a friend who has the tendency to be very relentless and manipulative, but maybe at times they can be a little empathetic. So it's really, I don't think it's a matter of how common is it. It's very common. For as many people that are narcissistic in the world, that's as many chances as you're going to find a friend who has some narcissistic tendencies or a partner that has them as well. So the next question is, why does it take so long to get over a narc? I'm tired of thinking about him. So dealing with narcissistic relationships is it's not like anything that you've ever dealt with. It's not like a normal breakup. It's nothing like that, because there's been so much emotional and mental and psychological abuse that you've gone through. Depending on the person, depending on how much they beat you down, depending on how little of self-confidence you have in yourself, depending on whether or not you know where your wounds are, and you can look back and see how everything when in your relationship, right, when you're being really, really honest with yourself and you see the manipulation, you see the abusive tactics that they use, you see the hamster wheel that you were on time and time again. So when it's difficult to get over this person, it's because you haven't fully accepted who this person actually was. So a lot of times when we struggle to get over really any breakup, it has to do with the fact that we're not accepting who this person actually was, and that we had an expectation on what we thought this relationship was going to be, where it was going to go, who this person was. And because none of that has come to fruition, we struggle with being able to like really get over this person. So if you're logical in this situation, right? If your friend was telling you, hey, this is the guy that I'm seeing and this is everything that I went through in this relationship, how quick would you be to say, hey, this person isn't right for you, like we need to move on, right? This person wasn't good for you. You would be very quick to do that, but because you're emotionally entangled, or we're emotionally entangled in this relationship, it can be a struggle. Even a healthy relationship where you're not dealing with someone who's a sociopath or a narcissist or anything like that, when a breakup happens, it's painful. You are emotionally detaching from someone, and that's something that's not easy to do because you're a human being, and the point of being human is to connect with other people. So when we have to disconnect, it's a struggle, right? That's why they say breakups or divorces are like a death, because we're removing ourselves emotionally from someone that we can no longer be with. So, be patient with yourself throughout this process, but also use logic sometimes. So when I talk about self-parenting, if you've ever seen any of my videos, that's about you being the parent for yourself, right? So, or you being the best friend for yourself, and using logic in these situations, getting yourself to remove yourself a little emotionally from the situation and looking at what you were in, this relationship, at face value. And if you can really do that and be honest with yourself, it'll be easy for you to start detaching a little bit more, and it won't be so much of a struggle for you to get over this person. And don't worry about how long it's going to take. It's a matter of what are the steps that you're doing day in and day out. Are they helping you to stay entangled? Are they helping you to like remove yourself emotionally and get more logical and be able to detach from the situation, to know your own self-worth, to know what you deserve, to know what you want, and know that it's out there for you? Are you having those kind of conversations with yourself to keep yourself hopeful and help you heal? Or are you entangled in the stories of this person was the one, well, they had good things about them, and there were so many good times that we had, and you're not remembering the bad times? So it's not a matter of how long or why does it take so long. It's a matter of what are the things that you're doing every single day to help yourself to move on. So the next question is really piggybacking off of that last question. So how do I quit a guy that loves me but doesn't love me enough? I think this has to do with really your standards. So I can love someone, I can have love for someone, I can even be in love with someone, and if I'm not being treated the way that I know I deserve to be treated, if what I want in my life, whether that's marriage, kids, a committed relationship, to hopefully find someone that I can share life with and live with, if I have this envision of my life, and this person, maybe their values, maybe their character, maybe where they are in their life, if they don't want the same things, if they're not showing you that, hey, this is the stuff that I want too, and here are the steps that I'm taking to get us to this place because I want the same thing, we share the same goals. If that's not happening, no matter how much I love you, I know that if you are not going to be that person for me, that there's someone else out there that would. A lot of times, that's not me thinking that everyone's dispensable, right? That's a painful thing. That sucks when you really love someone and they love you, but maybe the timing isn't there, right? Maybe they want different things. Maybe I love you, you love me, but I don't want kids and you do want kids. Like, those are not easy things to go through. But the reality is, the reason why we stay stuck in these relationships is because there's a belief inside of us that there's no one else out there, that this person just is the person and I'm never gonna find someone like this person again, or I don't want to start all over, I don't want to go through this process all over again. I don't know how long it's going to take me. So when all of that stuff is the underlining story that's being said in the background, then you're going to make excuses. You're going to stay stuck. You're not going to want to quit the guy, right? Because you have this belief that either there's no one else out there, there's no one else better, or that it's going to take forever. You know, it took me so long to find this person. So all that stuff is going to keep you stuck. I'm telling you guys, the key to happiness, the key to having everything is the mental toughness. The stories that you tell yourself every single day, they're either going to help you to get exactly what you want in life, or they're going to keep you stuck in the same patterns and the same behavior over and over again. Practicing mental toughness. This is why I always talk about self-parenting. Learning how to have an inner dialogue with yourself. Learning how to remove yourself emotionally from the thoughts that are going on inside of yourself, not attaching to every fear thought that comes up. That stuff is huge. That's huge, because there's no difference between you and a millionaire. There's no difference between you and a person that's been in a successful, happy relationship for 40 years. There's no difference between you and the girl that you know that just applied to grad school, that's getting the job that she wants, that's, you know, confident in herself and just happy in life. There's no difference other than the stories that you tell yourself. So the next question is, how do you know whether to stay in a relationship or leave it and walk away? I always live by the rule that if you have to ask yourself that question, then it's time to leave. Because if you're in a happy, healthy, good relationship, you don't ask yourself those kind of questions. You feel great in your relationship, and there's not even a thought of wanting to leave. There's not a thought of thinking that maybe the grass is green or anything like that. So how do you know when it's time to stay or leave? I think if you really want my answer, I think you need to be honest with yourself, with knowing yourself. What are the things that you want from in a relationship, right? From a partner. What are the things that are going on inside of yourself that you know that you need to tend to? Have you healed all your wounds? Are you projecting onto this person? Do you struggle with confidence? All of those things. So you really have to know yourself. And it's just like owning a business and trying to hire an employee. When you own a business and you say, okay, I need someone to handle marketing. I need someone to be an administrative assistant. I need someone to do my taxes. There's qualifications, right? There's a list of, hey, this is what I need every single day from this employee. This is what I need them to help me with. Here's your manual. Here's your list of things to do every single day. Do you know that in a partner? Do you know what you expect in terms of respect, communication? How do we handle difficult times? When we get into an argument, what does that look like? When I'm down and I'm feeling unmotivated, how does this person show up for me, right? When I'm being vulnerable, does this person make me feel bad about the way I'm feeling and what I'm thinking? So these are the things that you have to know about yourself. So when you know this, you know when you are dating someone, when to leave and when to stay and when to walk away. So the next question is, why did my ex-narcissistic partner prioritize her family over me? Well, if it's a person with true NPD, then they're always going to gravitate towards the people that they get the best supply from. So if you weren't giving the best supply, the best narcissistic supply, if you weren't feeding into what she expected or wanted to see out of you, then she's going to gravitate towards the people that are, emotionally filling her up inside, because perhaps maybe you're not doing that. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. She could be wanting to be around the people that just, quite frankly, enable her behavior. So the next question is, how to feel not guilty for ending a relationship with a narcissist. I always feel like I should have been more patient. So I get this often. I get this guilt that people sometimes have, or contemplating, did I make the right decision? And sometimes the people pleasers, the codependents, they tend to be the overthinkers, right? Because they want to make the best decision possible. And, I need to be patient and kind and understanding for what someone else is going through. And, I don't want them to think that I'm just walking away or giving up on them. And the only way you can let go of the guilt is if you mentally let go of the guilt. So if you know that you did the best you could, that person is doing the best that they can do, regardless, even if they are truly a narcissist with NPD, or if they just have tendencies, right? We're all doing the best that we can do in life from the level of knowledge that we have in this moment, right? We're doing the best we can. So if we accept that, and we accept that, hey, I know exactly what I want in life. I want this. And I know it's not going to be exactly this, but it needs to be really, really close to this, right? Because no one's perfect. They're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. But for the most part, the core values of what I'm looking for, character, values, goals, communication, friendship, trust, all of those things. If you really, these aren't just words that we're saying. You know, I want a partner that's loyal. I want a partner that's faithful. No, think about that for a second. And when you really feel into each of those things in a relationship, and you think about, is this person giving me this feeling of trust, right? That when I'm vulnerable with them and I'm trusting, I'm giving my heart to you, right? I'm being vulnerable with you. I trust that you're going to handle this in the right way. You're going to handle my heart in the way that is loving and caring and compassionate for me. Perhaps someone else doesn't need the things that I need, right? But when you find the person that, whatever you want to call it, speaks your love language, communicates the way you do, however you want to put it, when you just find those people and you've met them in life, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a grandmother, maybe it's an aunt, just you can feel that this soul is just an easy soul to be around, right? That even though we might have disagreements, even though we might not see eye to eye on some things, that for the most part, the foundation of what I want to feel when I'm around this person, that it's there. So when you know exactly what you want, and you know that, hey, as much as I do love you and as much as I tried as hard as I can, this isn't working for me and this is what I'm looking for, and that person wasn't it. And that the person that I really want to meet is actually out there. I know they're out there. They can't not be out there, right? So when you start coming from that space, the guilt, it just subsides, because there's no need to feel guilt for a relationship ending. You know, regardless if it's a friendship, it's a romantic relationship, it doesn't matter. If a relationship is no longer good for you, there's no guilt. You got to practice just letting that stuff go. So the next question is, why is the narcissist doing so much better than me? When is karma going to appear? You know, I get this often, and there's a couple things. One is, you have to accept that sometimes what you want to see may never happen. So, you know, when someone's done you wrong, or when someone's really hurt you, we have this thing inside of us, it's called our ego, that wants to see this person suffer. It's like, you made me suffer, now I want to see you suffer. And we kind of live in this world of unforgiveness, right? Because I want karma to come and take you out. I want karma to come and ruin your life the way you did mine. And so we kind of live in that space. That space is toxic and negative. When you have really healed and moved on, you don't even wish ill will on someone else. Because that person, even though they've done so many things to you, even though they've hurt you in so many ways, and I'm talking hurt you, right? Like hurt you in so many ways, that when you get to the point of real forgiveness, and remember, forgiveness is about you. This isn't about this person. This is about letting go of them. That I don't wish, it's not that you don't wish bad, it's that you just don't care. I don't even care. Wish you well, take care, arrivederci, bye. I just don't want to hear you, see about you, think about you, because everything that you brought was negative, or you hurt me in such a way that, like, I don't want anything to do with you ever again. And I don't even want to waste my own time or energy even wishing bad on you. That's how much I don't care anymore. That's how much I've moved on, is when you get to the place where you're like, I don't even want to wish ill will on you. I just don't care what happens to you, because I'm in a good space. And all I want to worry about is my own energy. And I want to focus any amount of thought, energy on myself and getting myself to where I want to be and have the things that I want to have. And you'll make a mess in someone else's life, in other words. So will karma appear? Here's the thing. The karma could possibly be that this person is just not happy, period, point blank. So anyone that behaves the way a narcissist does is not a person that's happy, is not a person that's fulfilled, is not a person that really feels joy and peace and contentment. They're not a light energy. So when you realize that the karma thing, the payback, it's actually already happening. They're already living in misery. Now they can go on social media and pretend like they have, all this happiness, or they have all this money, or they just got a new job, or I just got a new boyfriend, or I'm dating this new girl now and I'm just so happy that I'm not with you. They can do whatever it is that they want. They can pretend all day long because that's who they are. They're people that constantly are playing characters. So you have to know that and accept that. These people are not genuine, healthy people. So no matter what they get, when you say, it looks like they're doing so much better than me, it doesn't matter what they have in life that you don't have. It's still not going to be enough. That's just how this personality disorder works. There's a bottomless pit, and you're feeding and feeding and feeding, and I'm never getting filled up. Because the things that I'm putting inside of myself are external things: money, cars, clothing, women, men, sex, whatever, all of these things, jobs, titles, I'm the man, I'm the girl, look at me, like all of this stuff that is never going to fill them up inside. So when you start coming from that space, then you kind of understand why they are the way they are, and that they're gonna ruin something at another point in time, because that's just what they do, because their relationships are important to them. Nothing's really important to them other than those little external validations that they're getting. Now, I wanted to answer some of your questions on narcissism, and I hope that that kind of helped. It really was geared towards relationships, but if you guys do have any questions, don't forget to send me a message, or you can comment down below. Regarding your assumptions that you guys had about me, I was stunned. I wasn't stunned. I was just so pleasantly surprised. It just made me feel great, because you guys really don't have any negative assumptions about me. I feel like you guys really do know me, and I really appreciate the lovely, lovely comments that you guys sent me, in terms of, you thinking that I'm just sweet and genuine, and I'm so glad, because I'm really, really genuine when I do these videos, and I'm really just authentically myself. This is me. But I did get a couple of assumptions that I thought were really funny. Debbie, I think it's Perez 3 on YouTube, said, I assume you are a workaholic. And yes, I have tendencies of being a workaholic, and it's tough to find balance. It's easy sometimes to go to a 9-to-5 and work for someone else, because not that you don't care about your job, but it's not your baby. When something's your baby and you're so passionate about it, it's actually very easy to become a workaholic, because you love what you do. So not doing the thing that you love, it's just about finding balance in life, and I feel like I'm always striving to figure that out, and I will over the course of my life. Patrick Scott 3, it's funny, you guys are all putting 3s at the end of your usernames. He said, I assume you have your act together. Thank you, because you do really know what you were talking about. Thank you so much. Having your act together, I don't think anyone really does. I like to think I have my act together, but for the most part, I have goals. There are things I want to achieve. I'm satisfied with where I am, but I'm always striving. I think that's the Capricorn in me, the goat climbing the mountain. But I definitely have moments when I have my meltdowns. I'm a single mother, and I own my own business, and I definitely have moments of stress and fear and, overthinking and worry, and sometimes I get entangled in the hole, and I have to dig myself out, right? Over the years, it's gotten easier and easier as I've learned how to take care of myself and love myself, and, how to parent myself. I know when I'm letting fear take over, letting stress take over. So if that's what it means to have your act together, then I think it's a continuous practice, and yeah, so thank you. Bo Love 3. Oh my God, you all have 3 at the end. This is crazy. I don't assume. I see that you are a caring person and that you are willing to help others. Those were mostly the comments that I got from you guys, and thank you guys so much. That's like so great. Thank you. This is freaky. Sandeep Sign 3. Literally, you guys, every single person that I took from YouTube and Instagram, there's a 3 at the end of it. That is so weird. Okay, so she said, I assume you're some teacher at school for little children. You're fun-loving and a caring person. Thank you. You enjoy authentic food. You've been to Italy. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was there. Never been to Italy. It is on my bucket list. I've actually never been to Europe. I've never crossed the seas. So I want to go so bad. So I definitely want to see Italy. I want to see, I want to go to France. I want to go to London. I want to go to Portugal. I'm Portuguese. I've never been. I need to go. And someone actually asked me to. They assumed that I speak Portuguese, and I actually don't. My grandmother only taught me a few words, and she always said there's only 3 phrases that you need to know. Sit down, shut up, and go home. So, senta aqui, cala a boca, vá pra casa. So that's all I know. So that's all she taught me. But getting back to Sandeep, she said, I assume you're a teacher at school for little children. I'm not. I'm just a life coach. Not just a life coach. I am a life coach. But I do have a 5-year-old. I would like to get into school someday. And that was actually my goal when I started coaching. It wasn't really to do what I'm doing now and coach adults. It was really that I wanted to coach children and really teach them this stuff early on so, we can prevent messes from happening in our lives. But I will say I have a lot of clients that are in their early 20s, which I think is so great. And the stuff that, even if you just watch these kind of videos, whether you're a teenager, whether you're in your 20s, I didn't know any of this stuff when I was 22, 23, 25. And if I would have started getting into this early on, it's just great, great stuff. So I hope someday to either do speaking or get into the school system so we can start teaching this stuff to children, because they need these life lessons more than they need to learn about algebra, more than they need to learn about chemistry and all of this stuff. This should absolutely be curriculum in school. So hopefully in my lifetime we'll see that in the school systems, but who knows? Well, that is it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope I answered some of your questions. The next time I do this, I promise I will do a live. So don't forget, if you haven't already, don't forget to click subscribe and the notification bell so you can be informed every week when I do upload a new video. Again, don't forget to follow me on social media. I will link all of that right here for you. And I will see you next week.